Hi everyone, it's Kate from The Fold Line and I'm back this week with a new video for you all. This week we are doing a video in association with Spoonflower. They contacted us. They're doing a sort of festive blog hop where they come up with lots of ideas for stuff that you can make with their fabrics, and they said would we like to be involved, and we said hell yeah. So I picked a load of fabrics and I'm doing a sort of party dress, Christmas themed sort of roundup, I guess, of stuff that I thought you guys would find interesting. I ordered some fabrics actually that they didn't have last time, so there's some new stuff that I hadn't seen before, so I can show you like the quality of the fabrics. And yeah, let's get going. Actually, before we get going, I think this is going to be a long one, so if you don't have a cup of tea, go and get a cup of tea. Number two, how cool are these letters that Rachel gave me for my birthday? I've even managed to turn them around so they look the right way when I'm filming. And number three, it is actually snowing outside my window. It is like Christmas is here. So I've got a kind of festive top on. I didn't make this one, but it's a little bit festive. But right, I'm gonna get cracking because we've got lots to get through. My laptop is here, my notes are here, the fabrics are here, and I'm ready to get going. So the first thing I wanted to show you was actually the thing that I was most excited about. So when I was looking at all the different types of fabric, there was a velvet option and I was like, definitely going to get myself some of this. So this is the velvet, and I will pop links down below to all of the names of the prints so that you can go and find the exact ones if you want them, because I can't remember what they're all called. But yeah, this is the velvet, and look, it's got a beautiful sheen to it. I really wasn't sure what weight it was going to be when I ordered it, and actually I think it's probably more in the soft furnishing department, but I have a couple of patterns which I think would work really well for this. But yeah, it is really nice quality actually. This is probably the thing I was most impressed with in terms of it. It's got a really nice sheen, the nap's quite short but not too short, and the print is beautiful on there. I really loved this print. So I've got two patterns that I thought would work really well with it. The first one is one that probably a lot of you have made. It's the Tilly and the Buttons Cleo Dungaree dress. I thought this would be lovely for winter. It's nice and warm. This is quite structured and it would work well. So I've seen lots of the Cleos made in a denim, which is probably the thickness of this if you're trying to compare it. It's a very simple make, and I definitely think, because obviously with Spoonflower you can pick what print you want on what type of fabric, you could go mega festive if you wanted to get a really festive little make. And yeah, I just thought that would be a really nice use for this fabric. The other one I thought, which is a little bit wild card, is the Sew Over It Cocoa jacket. So I definitely think that you can make a jacket out of this. I've seen loads and loads of velvet on the high street. I've seen loads of velvet jackets, and I thought it would be really cool to have a printed velvet made into a little jacket. So I did quite a bit of research, and I found a few options, but the one I think actually would work the best is the Sew Over It Cocoa jacket, because it's got a lining, and the back of this is not, it's quite scratchy. I mean, it would be fine for a Cleo because you're not wearing it probably directly next to your skin, but I think you definitely want to line this. So the Cocoa jacket, if you haven't seen it, is a really lovely little simple jacket. I think it's perfect for popping over dresses. I think this, if you made a jacket and wore a pair of jeans with this jacket, that would look so great for kind of Christmas parties. I think it's a really nice simple make as well. It shouldn't take you more than a few hours. In terms of fit, it's got princess seams in the front and the back, so that makes everything easy to fit. And also what is quite handy, it means that you can buy a bit less of the fabric because you can piece everything together. And yeah, so I think this was probably my favourite thing that I bought, that I got from got sent from Spoonflower. Yeah, really, and this print is totally gorgeous. So I've got my laptop, let me just move on to my next. So I have got this really beautiful, now this is the chiffon I love this print. I was thinking sort of slightly more grown-up Christmas, if I'm being honest, for these ones. As you can see, it's quite sheer. It's a really nice quality, actually. I was impressed with it. It's got a nice drape to it. So I was thinking about what I would want to make with something like this, because you have to take into account that it is sheer, and because it's printed, you wouldn't want to have another layer underneath to make, well, another layer of the same underneath. So I've got two options. So I was thinking like a blouse, a really nice sort of sheer blouse, and you could wear either a strap top underneath it or a long sleeve top. So I've got two options. So the first one is the Janis BoHo tunic from Wardrobe by Me. And I really like this little top. I think it's really simple. I think with this print, or anything printed, I think you want quite a simple shape. And I really like the options with this, so you can mix and match it. It's got a little ruffle at the sleeve, and then it's also got a ruffle kind of just below the waist. But everything, it looks to me like it's quite interchangeable, so you can kind of mix it around if you want to. Let me just have a look. Oh no, it does have a ruffle. Yes, it has a ruffle, and it looks like it's just below the waist. And there's different options for the neckline, so you can have a V-neck or you can have a round neck. But I just thought it was quite a nice sort of one, and quite simple, and would work really well with this sort of chiffon. The next one I thought that would also work really nicely with the same fabric. If you want something that's, well, this is a really super speedy make. You'll have this whipped up in no time. So this is the caftan. It's a dress and a top version, but just the top version from Simple Sew. And I mean, you could make this in a couple of hours. I think it's really simple in terms of shape. It's got a big sort of one like grown on sleeve. It's quite sort of kimono in its shape. And it's got elastic around the waist, so that adds just actually empire line, so just below the bust, so it adds a bit of shaping, but it's not too sort of clingy. And obviously around Christmas season we want to wear things that are slightly looser so that we can eat more. But I thought this was a really nice option, would work really well with this fabric. Yeah, it's a nice fabric, but definitely in terms of super sheer, so that is definitely something to take into consideration if you were going to buy it. So up next I went a little bit wild card, and for satin. So I am not very much of a sparkly sheeny girl, but I just wanted to see what the quality was like, and I fell in love with this sort of botanical print. But actually this is quite nice, I think. The drape on it is not as nice as because it's a polyester satin, so it's not as nice as a silk satin, but it does have a nice sheen. It's not too full on, and in terms of trends, I saw loads and loads of really dark floral prints in the shops and lots of satin and velvets, so I thought this was a really nice one. One thing to note about this, because I made the mistake, I'll just show you the back. I was ironing it. Make sure you iron it on a low heat because it burns. So yeah. So I've got two dresses that I thought would work really nicely for this. So the first one is the Lois dress from Tessuti Fabrics. I love this dress. This is so on trend. It's got that little 90s feel. It's kind of a mixture of a 90s shape mixed with a sort of 40s tea dress, and it's really beautiful and really flattering. It's got a lovely deep V. In terms of construction, I read on Fiona Parker's blog, Diary of a Chain Stitcher, that actually it's a little tricky in the construction, but definitely worth it. It's got seams that go underneath the bust that's a classic sort of tea shape or tea dress shape, and yeah, it's quite simple. I like actually at the back it's got two seams down the back, and anyone who has a slightly larger bottom, that's nice because you can fit around it. And yeah, I just think it's really nice. I think it would suit quite a lot of people, and it would look amazing in that, to be honest. I kind of want to do it, but I don't have enough fabric. Yeah, so that's a goodie. The next one that I picked for this is, oh, sorry, I've got them muddled up. The Agate pencil dress from Named Clothing. So this was part of their new collection. I thought, again, this is, I think, because if you look at the picture, it's slightly more of a day dress feel to it, but actually if you made it in something like this satin, it would feel really, really nice and luxurious and party-ish. In terms of the construction of this, I should have had all my line drawings ready for me, but I didn't. So it's got quite simple neckline. It's got 2 panels that run down over the bust and down the side seams with a slit. There's a belt option as well, so you can cinch it in. But I think it's a really nice shape, and I've seen lots of them made on Instagram, and I like it because it's kind of, I like that it's kind of covered up, but it's still quite sexy at the same time. So that would be my other option that I'd go for with this. So up next I have got, this is, let me get my piece of paper. This is the Poly Crepe de Chine. I actually got a metre of this because I loved the print so much. Look at that, isn't it great? Little stars. So I picked this print because in the high street there are loads and loads and loads of sort of stars and asterisks and anything sort of to do with this, with the kind of outer space. There seems to be lots and lots of those prints around, and I just thought this was really nice. So in terms of the quality of the fabric, to me it doesn't feel like a classic crepe. It doesn't have that sort of slightly bumpy. You can see it's actually quite flat. It does have a nice drape to it too, to be fair, and it isn't sheer, ever so slightly sheer. So if you were making a dress, you might have to think about lining it, because otherwise we might see everyone's pants. But yeah, I just love this, and I actually got a metre of this because I think I'm going to make an Ogden cami with it. I think it would look really lovely, and just tucked into a pair of black jeans, it'd be really, really nice. So that is what I'm going to do with this. So I was really lucky, I treated myself to a metre of it. The other thing that I thought would look really nice is the Florence dress from Sew Over It. It's their new, I think it's their newest pattern. It's almost impossible to keep up. And that's a sort of long maxi shirt dress, and it's got a little mandarin collar or grandad collar, and it's quite simple construction, but I thought actually this would be really nice, quite kind of grown up look. There's sort of a lot of sort of 70s slightly ethereal stuff in the high street, and I thought this mixed with that pattern would be a really nice combo. In terms of construction, it's not too complicated. It's got a little stand collar, so that's easy. It's got elasticated waist, so in terms of fit, that's nice. And then it's got slits at the side if you want to do the full length version. But I'm pretty sure you can crop it off and make it shorter as well if you wanted it to be knee length. I guess it's probably, it's quite similar actually to the Helmy tunic from Named Clothing, but it's just slightly more, a little bit more feminine in its silhouette than that. So that's what I would make with this one. Up next, I've got this fabric, and it's called Silky Faille, F-A-I-L-L-E, and I didn't really know, to be honest, what it was. I just ordered it because it sounded fun. But actually, this is the thing I was most taken by. This to me feels more like a crepe. It's got a really nice weight to it. It's quite weighty. It's got a nice texture. There's a little bit of stretch in it as well, but the drape on it's really good. So I think probably in terms of dressmaking fabrics, this was my favourite of the ones we got. This print I loved. To be honest with you, I thought it was going to be a little bit. I thought it was going to be a little bit smaller. It's quite big, but go big or go home. So the pattern that I picked to go with it is the jazz jumpsuit and dress. So I thought it would look amazing in this. I've actually made the dress version, and what I really like about it as a dress, it has sleeves. It's got a nice V-neck, so it shows off a little bit of skin but not too much, And there's, yeah, so you can go for the jumpsuit or the dress version, and they're quite similar in their silhouettes, but I really love this, and I love the dress. I've worn it quite a few times. It's super comfortable and it's a really nice cut. So they're a French pattern company and they're well worth checking out because they've just released a collection of 3 coats as well, which I'm quite tempted by. So I would definitely use this to make something like that. This print might be a bit full on for that particular one, but the quality of this fabric you can see is really lovely. The other one I picked for this is the Kew Dress from Nina Lee. I think this is released in August. It's quite a summery dress, but I think it's perfect for parties. Really nice shaping. Has it got princess seams? I should know this, shouldn't I? No, it doesn't. So it's got little darts at the bust, darts above the waist, darts below the waistband, and it's got buttons down the front. There are 2 options, so you can either make it in a little like sort of quite 40s with a cap sleeve, or you can make it with a cold shoulder option, which I think would be really nice. And in this quality fabric, it would be amazing. Actually, it would be quite nice in this print, actually. Yeah. So those are all the sort of like going out dressmaking, not dressmaking, going out sort of fabrics. So the other route I went down was the snuggly cozy route. Not everyone wants to go to parties. Quite a lot of Christmas is spent vegetating. So when vegetating, you need to be comfortable. Jersey. So I'm always quite interested in the printed jerseys, the quality of them. So my feedback from them, I'm just going to have a look. I'll show you the first one. So there are 2 options. So there are a few options. The organic cotton knit and the cotton spandex. If you're picking between the 2, get the organic cotton. It is really beautiful, and it feels a lot more weighty than the spandex. So I'm going to show you the 3 fabrics, and then I'm going to talk about potential patterns for them. So this is my first one, and I loved this. I just thought it was really cute, festive, but not like full on. You could totally wear this to work and everyone, you know, might not notice to start off with. I just thought it was a really lovely print, and this is the organic. So it's actually slightly cream, it's not pure white. And the recovery, let's have a pull. Yeah, the recovery on it's pretty good actually. I really like it. I think it's really beautiful quality, and I definitely buy this. My next one, which I just fell in love with, and so this is this cotton spandex jersey. It's definitely lighter weight, it's got a bit more drape, but look at the print. So cute, little robins. I really loved this. I thought this would be fantastic in something. And finally, this is like the big one. I was obviously feeling really Christmassy when I got this bit. So this one, which I just love. So I got this again in the same cotton spandex, but I love the print. It's so beautiful, really whimsical. It's like the Nutcracker. So I've got a few different options. So there are the obvious options like the Tilly and the Buttons Agnes top to have underneath your dungaree dress. But I wanted to tell you about some other patterns which I thought you might like. So the first one is the Frances dress by Victory Patterns. This was just released a couple of weeks ago. It's a really nice, there's a dress and a top option. There are lots of different options in terms of the neckline. So you can have a V-neck, you can have a round neck, and same on the back. So there's a scooped out version with a tie. There's a sort of higher backed version. There's just loads and loads of different options within this pattern. And I think if you invested the time in making it fit perfectly, I think it could become a wardrobe staple. It's a little bit like the Colette Moneta dress, but it's a little bit more grown up than that, so I thought it would be a nice one to include. If you're looking for a sort of interesting top to go underneath stuff, I thought there's the Lion and Zebra from I Am Patterns. So they're a 2-for-1 PDF pattern, and I've made the lion version and Rachel has made the zebra version. So the nice thing about these two patterns are they're quite simple tops, but they've got nice details. So the lion has a poof sleeve, and the zebra has got a sort of bell's sleeve at the bottom. So they've got nice thick cuffs on them. They're just a really nice simple sort of, kind of a nice simple top, but with a little bit of a like edge to them. And then it's got little popper details along the shoulder seam, which is really cute. And finally, last but not least, the other one that I thought would be lovely is the chestnut sweater from Cocowawa Crafts. I still say it wrong. I'm sorry, Anna. Every time I say it wrong. I really love this pattern. I've seen loads of people make it. It comes again with lots of different options. So you can have a tie on the back. There's an option for a tie on the shoulder, and then there's an option where you have it splits completely down the centre back and it's got 3 big bows. So I thought in terms of a festive make, this would be perfect, because can you imagine this and then big red bows on the back for your Christmas party, or the next day when you're feeling a little bit hungover and you need something soft and cosy to be wearing. So I think that's a really good staple one to look at. And if you're thinking about a lot of people have made the grain line linden, and if you're thinking about something a little bit more party-ish, I think this could be a good option for you. Whew, I'm sorry, it's a long one, guys, but I hope you enjoyed that, and I can confirm it is still snowing 20 minutes later. We will be back soon with another video, and I hope you enjoyed this. Bye!